Yo, yo, yo. Happy Saturday, everybody. Happy Saturday. Let me know if the audio is good, if the visual is good. Just let me know if I'm good or not. What's going on? That dark friend, what's going on here? Early. Says rookie mini camp. Then random Saturday morning cars like peace. I'm out. Yeah. Car couldn't do it anymore. Car couldn't do it anymore, man. Fighters Destiny, what's going on, man? Enrique, thank you for letting me know, Fighters Destiny. I'm good. I'm good. John Greer, what's going on? My man Pablo, what's good? Enrique said, "What's up, Big Dash? What's going on, Enrique?" Listen, you see what the title of today's show is going to be about. It's going to be about rookie minicamp, and I just already on Twitter alone, a lot of people are excited already. I'm excited too. I'm not even here to try to bring that down at all. If you hype right now, be hype right now, because I think there's definitely a different feeling in the building right now, for sure. For sure. Let me get my background music going. Let me turn that down a little bit. Actually, I might go this one. Yeah, I think we're gonna go smooth. We're gonna smooth it out today. Yeah, it's Pablo says them young cats look good. Listen, man, it's rookie mini camp, so obviously the linemen can't do much. No pads, so they can't do much. I like the way these guys were moving around, though. Let me turn this down a little bit. Let me turn that down a little bit. I think that's better. Yeah, so for me, yeah, they highlighted Jackson Dart. My man Robbie says Jackson Dart looking impressive. Can't wait to see what he does or what he do. Solution says Jackson throwing darts. Yep, that's a fact. Capo 1974 says go Big Blue. Let's go and cook those birds. That's what it's all about. We got to compete in the division first, man. We got to compete in the division first. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Wipe your feet before you step in the house. Let the algorithm know that we in the building. And it's just the right thing to do. My man Pablo says finally Carter picked 51. We're going to get into a couple things like that, especially the number. My man Enrique says I'm getting a 44 for sure. You know what's crazy about that, though? You saw what Scatterbo wasn't too, hyped about having a number 44. He said it's temporary. So I know he wore the number 4 in college, but it seems to me like if he gets a chance to get something else, he might pick something else. So I'll tell this to everybody. Don't order your jerseys too fast. You know what I mean? Also, I believe somebody was telling me that when you order the jerseys online, even if the guys don't have the numbers yet, just with the pre-orders are so backed up that as soon as these guys get assigned the real number, they'll ship those things. I don't know how true that is, though. I don't know how true that is. Enrique says he needs to talk to Ahmad. I'm pretty sure as a running back and a smaller guy, or a shorter guy, I should say, I'm pretty sure he's very familiar with Ahmad Bradshaw. Money Mike, you said it. Banks needs to come up off that too for Dart. Listen, and that's funny too, because I was watching. Who was I watching? I was watching Bobby Skinner's mailbag, and he had mentioned about the jersey number thing and retired jerseys, and the New York Giants should be shutting things down. Or what guys should pick what numbers. Listen, once you opened up Pandora's box and let these guys pick whatever number, they got you can't put the genie back in the bottle after that. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for that. It's a wrap for that. Shout out to the 37 people in the building. Again, make sure you hit that like button. Let the algorithm know we in the building. So I got some things I want to talk about. And guess what? You guys get to talk about those things with me. Why? Because we are Giants fans. And I appreciate the love and support. And again, this is about us, not just me. So I do want to talk about, we finally got a jersey number for Abdul Carter. He got the number 51. Who was the guy on NFL Network that kind of try to put things together? He won at 56. He wore number 11 in college. You take the 5, you take the 1, you get 51, and a lot of people started running with that. The crazy thing about that is some people believe that's what got him to pick the number. He told you guys at the presser, at the podium, he said that's what was left. That's what was available. So he picked number 51. But to him, it looks like he really doesn't care. He's going to rock 51. Now, we'll see what happens once we get the 53-man cut down. And we'll see if he keeps that 51. I'm not sure what he's going to do, but 51 does look good on him. I will say that. And then another thing I will say too, man, these guys are pretty good behind the microphone. Abdul Carter brings the energy. I saw some clips. They got him dancing in the rookie minicamp already, bringing that type of energy. He had the fronts in, some swag. I like it. Paul, did I miss a pause? I might have missed a pause, Kyler. Keep me on track, man. Keep me on track. So I don't know what I said, but Kyler caught it. I'm gonna say pause. Let me know. Let me know what I missed. I like 55 too, Steven. I like 55. Okay, all right. That might be pushing it a little bit, but I'm gonna pause it though, out of respect. I'm gonna pause it. Was it Banks? Yeah. So I want to talk about Jackson Dart, right? So Jackson Dart looked good. I believe yesterday he went 8 for 10 in 7-on-7. 2 of those incompletions were actually drops on a wide receiver. I saw some clips today. Deep pass to Tate Felton. That's, they highlighted that. And then he had another deep pass. The guy dropped it. I couldn't see what number it was, though. So exactly what we want, or what I should say what Daboll wants. He wants to push the ball downfield, and that's what you're seeing early on. And again, this is just rookie minicamp, but you already see what he's trying to do. They're keeping it very, very basic, but it's still a part of their offense. And every time Daboll gets a chance to coach up Jackson Dart, he does that, and we've seen it. And another thing that I've noticed, a lot of people have noticed, is Daboll is out here smiling, dapping, high-fiving. You know what I mean? Like he's ready to go. He's happy. And guess what? Happy Daboll? Maybe that means something. Shout out to my man Born for Sports in the building. He said, "What's up, bro? What's going on, Born for Sports?" Hey, yo, I saw your message late. I didn't see it till this afternoon. Actually, I didn't see it till after the Knicks game. I know you went on before the Knicks game to talk Knicks stuff. And yo, let me tell you something about the Knicks real quick. This is your territory, Born for Sports. This is your territory. I'm just going to talk about it just a little bit when it comes to these Knicks, man. Why is Tom Thibodeau there? What kind of coaching is he doing? What kind of adjustments is he making? What is he doing? I know you know more than me when it comes to these Knicks, for sure. What is Tom Thibodeau doing? Now, it's not all the Knicks' fault. The way Boston shot the three-pointer today, fantastic. I can't do nothing about that. You shoot 100 three-pointers, make 75 of them, you're most likely going to win the game. But for me, man, just as far as adjustment goes, and then also, where was OG at? Where was OG? He had a big game last game. I was mad at Bridges too, but then he got his 12 to 14 points by the end of the game. But I'm just sitting here like, where was OG at? Bridges is very, very timid too. I'm gonna get off this Knicks stuff, man. I'm gonna leave that up to you. Shout out to my man Born for Sports. If you're not subscribed to Born for Sports, all your New York teams, if you're a fan of the Knicks, Giants, of course. I believe he's a Mets fan and not a Yankees fan. But again, that's New York sports. Go ahead and subscribe to Born for Sports. That's a fact. I don't know what Tom Thibodeau is good for. Hopefully, I hope they win the series again. Is 2-1 now. Obviously, we wanted to get the clean sweep at home. Hopefully, we can get it in 5. That's the next. Hopefully, we can get it in 5. Stephen R says, so what's the number for Scottish Hammer? Yeah, I saw Jackson Dart had 6. And the funny thing about it is, before he picked the number 6, it was like reports saying that the only quarterback eligible number was 12. And he didn't take 12. He took 6. Also, what's funny about that is, and I like this too, because they asked him how he liked the number 6. He said, I don't know yet. I got to see how it looks on me. I got to look at the photos. And that's hilarious too, because a lot of people, I don't know if they realize it or not, Jackson Dart has some swag. He has some swag. He got some juice to him, man. I might have to pause that too for Kyler. I might have to pause. I don't think I do, but I might have to pause that for my man Kyler. Good Lord, man. But yeah, Scottish Hammer, obviously he's gonna get that number 6 back. Unless, listen, he's a punter. You can give him whatever number you want, 30, 35, 42. I don't know what you want to give a punter. 6 is too good of a number to be on a punter. That's just me. I apologize, no disrespect, but number 6 is too fire of a number for the punter to have. Just like with Graham Gano, he had 5, then he had 9, and I think he still has 9 now. Like, come on, man. And that's a big point. So I want to talk about the kicker in a second, but let me get through some of these comments. What's going on, Luann? John May is in the building. Again, my man Robbie Rotten in the building. He says, shaking my head, Daniel Jones was missing throws left and right. I'm not paying attention to Daniel Jones, Robbie. I am not. I don't care about the story. I don't know. I don't care about the quarterback battle they got going on in the Colts with the Colts. I don't care about none of that. But I think it's funny that he was out there missing left and right. Unless you're talking about with us when he was missing left and right too. But I'm assuming you're talking about practice, but I could be wrong. My man Corey Lum says, I repeat, Carr retires, now what? Also, no real quarterback in Pittsburgh. As far as New York Giants, I am stoked for Dart, but what about the trade like DeVito? I don't think DeVito has any trade value. What's your thoughts on? I don't think DeVito has any trade value right now. He's going to be fighting to try to make the team. The Giants will not be keeping 4 quarterbacks, that's for sure. He will get waived. I'm 100% sure on that. I mean, unless an injury happens or unless a trade happens and, we end up sending Winston to somewhere like the Saints, but I don't think that happens. They should suffer with Tyler Shaw and Spencer Rattler. Let me keep Jameis Winston. He's the only guy with a 2-year deal on the squad right now because Winston got 1-year deal. Tommy DeVito, 1-year deal. Let's hold on to Winston for a little bit. Let's not make any kind of sudden changes. I like the way this roster is looking right now. I like the depth at quarterback. I like the guys that we have in front of Jackson Dart right now. Let's just leave things alone. And plus, what kind of trade value are you getting? But for me, Tommy DeVito, it's like the clock has started on Tommy DeVito. Maybe he makes it through waivers and we bring him back on the practice squad. I can see something like that happening, but I don't think he makes the 53 unless somebody gets injured or something crazy happens. Stephen R. That's a fact. Celtics hit. Yeah. As soon as you turn the game on, it was 3-pointers. 3-pointers galore. My man Money Mike says, do we sign Gabe Davis, Amari, or Keenan Allen? You know what? Last week, and actually not even last week, like 2 days ago, somebody asked me the same question, right? We need to bring in a veteran quarterback. Even in the comment section for a lot of the videos that I've been doing, the recent videos I've been doing, it was like, we got to get Gabe Davis, Keenan Allen. But mostly it's Gabe Davis because he's familiar with Joe Shane. He's familiar with Brian Dable and the system and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, so when you sign Gabe Davis, who are you taking snaps away from? Are you taking snaps away from Darius Slayton, who you just paid? Are you taking away snaps from? Well, you're not going to take snaps away from Wan'Dale because Gabe Davis is not really a slot guy. But who are you taking those snaps away from? Like I wouldn't be surprised if they got Gabe Davis, but again, where does he fit in the roster? Also, there's some UDFAs that have a good chance of making this team. Guy like Felton, a guy like Juice Wells, younger guys, cheaper guys as well. And then when you look at the starting 4 right now, your wide receivers are going to be Malik Nabers, of course, Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt. Now, Wan'Dale Robinson is in the contract year. We don't know if we're going to bring him back or not. Is he in the plans for the future? So maybe you do want to try to get somebody young or, add to that room. But I don't know. I don't know if we got the space for Gabe Davis right now. I don't know. Yeah, hold on. Let me go back to Steven. I said OG had 2 points. That's crazy. Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. Nixon 5. Steven R says, Cubs fan here. Go Cubs. Listen. Go. Shout out to your team. I'm not going to say go your team. Go Yankees. I'll say that. Nah, appreciate you for dropping in, though, Mr. Cubs fan. Listen. So now I want to get into what I want to get into. And again, I poured myself a big glass of Kool-Aid that I have not decided to drink yet. But it's poured already. It's in the refrigerator. It got to chill on it. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to hold my composure, but I'm getting excited. And pause. But I'm ready for these New York Giants to do something. I put out a video saying I'm tired of the disrespect going on around the league. Now, we've earned that disrespect. We've earned it. We've earned that disrespect. What's going on, Zoe Fisher? We earned this disrespect. But for me, as a Giants fan, a longtime Giants fan, the disrespect got to stop. And the only way that disrespect stops is if the New York Giants go out there in 2025 and earn that respect back. I'm not asking for teams to just give us the respect. We got to go out there and earn our respect. And I think how we do that, the best way for us to do that is being just physical. Just a physical New York style of offense and defense. You got a two-headed monster now. I can't call it a monster yet because even the Cam Scatterbow's own words, he has not done anything yet. But you got a good running back rotation, in my opinion. Possibly rotation. When it comes to this defense, I look at all these players on defense. There is no reason why. And I've gone back and forth. I try to curb my enthusiasm when it comes to this defense, but I can't do it anymore. When I look at every level of the defense, we have ballers on every level of the defense. There is no excuse. Now, when it comes to the offense, Dable got to figure things out. Russell Wilson got to figure things out. You got to develop Jackson Dart. And I'll come back to that offense in a little bit. But when it comes to this defense, there's no excuses for this defense. Every level, there's a playmaker. Every level, of course, Dexter Lawrence. But also on that front, Brian Burns. We want to see what Kayvon Thibodeau does in a contract year, because we know how players get when it comes to contract years. They lose their mind. They play out of their minds. You got Abdul Carter. That's just your front. And depending on where they want to play Abdul Carter, that's your front also at the second level as an off-ball linebacker. So when I'm looking at the second level, when I look at the second level, you got Bobby Okereke, who should have a nice bounce back year, second year in this system. Micah McFadden is getting better every year. So far, every year he's gotten better. And again, we don't know what Abdul Carter's going to. At some point in time, he's going to be off ball. He's going to be lined up on the edge. He's going to be all over the place. A lot of people they keep on wanting to compare Abdul Carter to Micah Parsons. How's Micah Parsons being played in Dallas? All over the place. So yes, I know you wanted to draft Abdul Carter as an edge rusher, but he's good at off ball too. He'll be great at the edge, but he's good at off ball too. The more pieces that you have, the less excuses that Shane Bowen has. This defense got to cook. And then when you get to the third level, you got a guy coming off an injury in Paulson Adebo, who before he got hurt, is a ball hawk, a guy that takes chances, a guy that takes risks and gets the ball. Turnovers. He's a guy that can get those turnovers. And what did we lack last year? Turnovers. Interceptions, I should say, because, we got a couple of fumbles. Tay Banks, question mark. You know what I mean? I like the rookie that we brought in Corey Black. I still like Flott. I love Andrew Phillips. And then I look at the back end, Pauls. And it's Tyler Nubin, Javon Holland. And there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that at least on paper we should be cooking. No excuses, man. No excuses. My man said I would hold on to Winston. That's a fact. I'm not trying to give him. I saw, what was it? Patty Traynor had put out a post saying, will people be open to trading Winston? A lot of people said, nah, what are you talking about? What are we doing? My man Ghost Dog, what's going on, Ghost? Yeah, man, I'm sitting here like, I'm not giving up anybody right now. My man Ghost says, I prefer Keenan over all. I don't know, really? I think Keenan goes back to San Diego. They were talking about that. He's old, man. I don't want nobody taking snaps away from the guys on the team right now. And the funny thing about it is that these guys have not played together. Russell Wilson has not played with Malik Nabers or Slayton or any of these guys, right? So it's kind of like these guys got to learn. But I still don't want to take, snaps away by trying to fit in a Keenan Allen or trying to fit in a Gabe Davis or Amari Cooper. I don't know. Side guy, I didn't know. Is he hurt? I didn't know he was injured. I know he got waived, but I didn't know he was hurt. My man Lucas, he says, Big Dash, if they got a new receiver, which could be either Davis, Amari, Keenan Allen, they can put one of those guys on the outside with Darius Slayton and let Malik play in the slot like he did in LSU. Listen, I'm not going to argue with that statement at all because you know me. At LSU, he was a monster when he came out of the slot. You know what I mean? That's you know, that he was a yak monster. I think he plays very well. When you can't get a hand on Malik Neighbors, good luck. Good luck. But I still think that you got guys on the outside right now that can play. That can play. You just got to give them a chance. Russell Wilson likes to do the moon ball, right? If he likes the moon ball so much, that means somebody that I've been waiting and hoping and praying for to have a breakout season, maybe that helps him. He got to get out the doghouse, though, because right now, Jalen Hyatt is in the Brian Dable doghouse, man, for sure. My man Zoe says, I think this is the best squad I've seen on paper. Yeah, absolutely. There's no lack of talent, especially on the defensive side. I don't think we have a weakness on defense right now, and I know that's a bold statement to make, but you can back that up. Just look at the paper. Look at the lineup. I don't think we have a bad position. Now, I'm not saying we're the strongest. I'm not saying that at all. But I like everything that was a weakness last year. I don't think there's like a big weakness for the defense. Now, everything has to come together. You know, the team got to gel. The system got to be right for the roster. But I don't see a real weakness on the defense, man. I really don't. Oh boy, Erwin says if we don't make the playoffs, I'm skipping the 2026 season. Come on, man. Now that's asking a lot. Maybe not. I do think we won some games this year. I'm a lot more optimistic this year than I was last year. Last year I had us like 6 to 8 wins, and obviously we didn't even get to 6. I'm back in that 7 to 10 range, man. I'm thinking 7 to 10. I think we could possibly win 10 games. I don't know. I can't wait for the schedule to come out next week, though. I can't wait for that. I missed your questions, though. My man Steve says, out of the 3 edge rushers, who's playing DN when we will get all 4 in the field? That Kayvon. He played with his hand in the dirt in Oregon. As far as he is the biggest edge rusher that we have. Now, I'm already counting Chauncey Golston as the DE right now. So if I'm calling out the starters right now, the 3 guys, and it's just a traditional 3-4 lineup, right? Traditional 3-4. Dexter Lawrence, Chauncey Golston, and I believe Darius Alexander will start over Nacho. I think that's going to be the front. Outside of that, you got edge rushers. I do believe that Tibbs is going to be the starting edge, and Brian Burns is going to be on the other side, right? I do think that's going to happen. I don't know who's going to be the odd man out on first and second down now when it comes to the off-ball linebacker. I do believe that Abdul Carter will be on the field in a hybrid mode and on first and second down, playing pretty much the center field. Not the center field. Good Lord, what I'm talking about. The center of that line. So between the center and the guards, you know, either blitz in the A gap, blitz in the B gap, lined up like an off-ball linebacker. I think that's what happens. I don't know who the odd man out is. It's going to be between Bobby Okereke and Micah McFadden. To me. So yeah, that's if they go to the quote unquote NASCAR package, I believe Kayvon to be the guy with his hand in the dirt for sure. But I don't think you have to do that. I don't think you have to be traditional at all. I can see us running with two guys with their hands in the dirt. Everybody else in the 2-point stands, you know. But we'll see what happens. Victor Castro says, Dash, why is everyone counting out a motivated Russell Wilson? I think he fits Dave's style of play to a T, dual threat with all of our weapons and our revamped line. Plus, Neil will be moving inside. I don't know who you've been listening to, Victor. I don't think people are counting out Russell Wilson. Well, at least I know I'm not counting out Russell Wilson. You know what? I do know where you're getting that from now that I'm thinking about it, because a lot of people calling Russell Wilson Rusty Wilson. I'll say this: Russell Wilson is the best quarterback we've had in a while. I'll say that right now, even though he had a down year the last couple of years. He's not the old Russell Wilson, but I think the way that he plays, to your point, plays the way that Brian Dable would like, pushing the ball downfield. He's good for the moon ball. And I think that timing wise, I'm big on timing when it comes to the quarterback and the wide receivers. Great timing, good ball placement means yak to me. When I looked at Malik Neighbors last year, every time he got the ball, he seemed like he was waiting too long for it. He was already open for a whole second before the ball even got there. And a lot of his catches, he ended up on the ground. After the catch, he ended up running out of bounds, or he wasn't able to maximize yardage after the catch. And I think Russell Wilson can also, a lot faster as far as his processing and good ball placement, good timing. I think Russell Wilson will be good for the New York Giants. Now, he can absolutely go out there and look horrible too at the end of the day. So we'll see what happens. Luann says, I agree with Victor. Now, Victor got a point there. Side guy, so he was waived for injury. Okay. Injury designation. Okay. My man off Broadway. Listen, man. You guys know I'm a fan of Hyatt, man. I was rooting for Hyatt. Like I was really rooting for Hyatt, man. I can't. Like I'm hoping and praying for him. What's going on off Broadway? A lot of people thinking about putting Neighbors in the slot. Yeah, man, it makes sense. You have playmakers, and if Brian Dable is supposed to be the guru of getting people open, get Neighbors in the slot. They can't stick them now anyway. Pause. You put them in the slot, it's over for defense. I don't care who they got on them. You put them on the slot where they can't get a hand on them, it is over for whoever that defender is, especially if it's man-to-man. Are you kidding me? All day. The moon ball is crazy work. A man side guy brought up a point. He says CB still makes me nervous. I understand why. Tay Banks got to improve. Is put up a shut up time for Tay Banks. It's put up a shut up time also for John Michael Schmitz as well. Those two guys, Hyatt, the first 3 picks of the 2023 draft, those guys are on notice. Hyatt's already in the doghouse. JMS, a lot of people are ready to throw in the towel on JMS. I told you that's my son. I call JMS my son, and I said it in some spaces earlier too. I'm like, that's my son. I got his bags packed, and they by the door. If he don't have a good season this year, he got to go. JMS got to go. Listen, I thought he was going to be fantastic. He was the best center coming out of the draft. He got to the Giants, and he does not look good. Now, I will say this. Injuries played a part. Neck injury, shoulder injury, that's your center. That's your center. Those injuries are very, very, important. Like a neck injury, shoulder injury, it's not good at all. And then when you see him getting blown off the ball, that's strength issues and stuff like that. And guess what? His neck is not good. His shoulders aren't good. The way he finished the year, hopefully he should be healthy going into camp. But this is a put up a shut up year for JMS, put up a shut up year for Tay Banks. Now the deal with Tay Banks, to your point, the cornerbacks still make me nervous. Tay Banks is the funny thing about Tay Banks is he's in good position often. What's the thing that they tell you every time about Tay Banks? He does not get his head around. And as a cornerback, and let me rewind that, as a quarterback, if you're looking at the back of a cornerback and you know that you put the ball in a close vicinity to your wide receiver, that guy can't get his head around, and you know that guy can't get his head around because you've been watching film all week. You've been watching his play. He does not get his head around. You're going to target Tay Banks. The worst thing Tay Banks can do is stick with what he's been doing and not getting his head around. If he got his head around, he'd probably have even more pass breakups. He probably have 2 or 3 more interceptions too if he would just get his head around. But Jerome Henderson got fired because Banks ain't doing what he's supposed to do. Hopefully he doesn't get the next guy fired. Oh, man. My man off Broadway says, Dash, he says, also Vegas has the Giants over under for wins 5.5. I saw that. I told you I got 7 to 10 wins right now for the New York Giants. 7 to 10 wins. Talk to me after the first 3 weeks, and then I have an even more solid number. But I think we should win at least 7. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're able to get to 10. I would be very, very happy. But right now, 7 to 10 wins is where I'm at right now. Vegas can kick rocks. Actually, you know what? I should put money on that bet because that seems like it might be easy money to me. 5.5. We definitely going over 5.5 wins. Come on, man. What are we talking about? Shout out to my man Trey in the building. Says, what up, Dash? If you could play an NFC East team week 1, which one do you want? You know I'm always say the Eagles. And shout out to my man Trey right there. Day 1 right there. You know I'm gonna say the Eagles. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think they're gonna put us on Thursday night against the Eagles when they drop in the banner. I think they're gonna do the rematch, the Commanders and the Eagles week 1 Thursday night. I think that's how we open up the NFL season. I think that happens for sure. Yeah, that if I was doing it, that's what I would do. For me, Monday Night Football, New York Giants versus Dallas Cowboys in Jersey, in New York. I'll say that. I want the Dallas Cowboys week 1. Let me know how you guys. Actually, I'm gonna ask you guys that. Who do y'all want week 1? If it's an NFC East team, who do you guys want week 1? Let me know in the comment section. My man off Broadway says Micah McFadden is the odd man out. Sorry, not sorry. Man, listen, Micah McFadden earned my respect, man. His rookie year, he was bad. His rookie year, he was really bad. He was getting cooked. Second year, Wink Martindale said the most improved guy was Micah McFadden, and he showed up on the field. Last year, he was a tackling machine. Now, he still has some issues. He still missed a couple of tackles. I remember he missed that sack on Jaden Daniels week 2. Had him dead to rights. Ended up being the first down, but he's getting better. He's getting better. So that's going to be an interesting battle because they're going to get Abdul Carter on the field some way. But I also think they want Thibodeaux on the field too. So it's a good problem to have. I'll say that for Shane Bowen. Good problem to have for him. That's a fact. JMS is poor at leverage and gets bullied. Not much hope. And that's the crazy thing about it with the wrestling background too. How you poor with your leverage? How do you have bad leverage? And you're a wrestler. You got a wrestling background. That does not make sense. Usually the wrestlers make like the best centers. And he's not all that athletic. He can't really play guard. Like if he doesn't make it at center, I don't know. I don't know. But let's hope for the best for him. Let's hope for the best. Stephen R. says Giants should have went with Brian Branch in that Banks draft. I was a Branch fan, but it was like another slot, another nickel cornerback, and we already had guys. And a Tyler Newman pick, and a Tyler Newman pick could have been Kool-Aid. Well, we saw that. They had Kool-Aid, they had Lassiter, in their sights. They got drafted before they got a chance to get them, and they went with Tyler Newman. Now, I will say this about Tyler Newman. The way he was played last year, you saw him, supporting the run, in the box a little bit. He is very versatile. We haven't even scratched the surface when it comes to Tyler Newman because he's a ball hawk. He was a ball hawk in Minnesota, and he's not getting played that way. He's doing the best in operating in the scheme of Bowen, and I don't know if it helps that we get Javon Holland, because those two guys pretty much can do the same things. Now that's a good problem to have as well, because both of your safeties are versatile. Both of them can play in the box. Both of them can play, deep. Both of them should be good in coverage. We'll see what happens. But I like the Tyler Newton pickup a lot. My man Rick Torture says 9 games. Ghost Dog says Eagles twice out the gate. My man Steven says Cowboys. We got a 40 ass whooping from them still. Yeah, I need my get back. I need my get back on the whole NFC East, if we're being honest. But I definitely week 1 Cowboys. Yeah. And they put a video out. It was Jerry Jones talking to the rookies at the mini camp, and they were kind of saying that he let it slip that that the New York Giants and Dallas were going to be playing week 1. But when I watched it, all he said was, I want you guys, can you guys contribute when we got to play New York? And he might just be saying that in general because we're in the division, or he could have slipped up. We've seen Jerry Jones slip up before. He could have slipped up and said that. And guess what? If On Wednesday, we see week 1, we got the Cowboys. I hope that's it. I hope that's the game. I actually really don't care where we play them at. I would want it to be in New York or East Rutherford, the MetLife. But that's the game I want. That's the game I want for sure. Stephen R says Carter outperforms Parsons, guarantee. That's a big guarantee there, brother. Won't Stop Dream Team, what's going on? Rick Torture says Dallas versus New York Giants has been opening day. It's tradition. We got them. Yeah. I won't. Listen, I'm still hurting from the 40 burger that they put on us in 2023. I'm not even getting to 2024 yet, but from 2023, I'm still upset. I need my get back on the Cowboys. I need my get back on the whole NFC East. Off Broadway says JMS needs to bulk up. He does need to get stronger. But like my man was saying, leverage matters a lot. Isaac says, I never liked the JMS pick. Come on, man. He was the best center in the draft. Who was the guy that the Jets took? They took Tippmann after him, and he ain't doing much either. But a lot of people were saying, oh, Tippmann was better than JMS, and going into the draft because he's like Creed from Kansas City. Like, no, he might be athletic. He'd probably make a better guard. But JMS was a solid center, man. Like solid. And I'll say this though, he's not living up to the pick for sure. Shout out to listen to Victor. Make sure you hit that like button, let the algorithm know we in the building. I appreciate it. Go says facts. Nubin's ceiling is high. Yeah, people, like I said, people sleeping on Nubin, man. Nubin is nice. We should let's talk about the secondary a little bit, right? So Javon Holland is a playmaker in the secondary. Paulson Debo is definitely a playmaker, ball hawk. Tyler Nubin, if you look at him coming out of college, he was a ball hawk in Minnesota. How many interceptions did we have last year as far as the secondary goes, right? 3, maybe 3. I know Belton got 1. Flock got 1. Who else got a? Anyway, it was bad. We didn't get enough interceptions on the back end. This year, we better get some interceptions. We better generate some turnovers. The pass rush should be better. We should be able to stop the run better. That should help the secondary. And you got a guy like Paulson Adebo who likes to take risks. He lives life dangerously. I think they should let him continue to play the way that he played for the Saints. Let him do that. Let him play a little bit off script. Let him generate and do what he does best. It is what it is. Victor Castro says we got some dogs on both sides. So all of the confidence right now. Now there's still some people complaining about the offensive line. Now we just talked about JMS. The elephant in the room is Evan Neal moving the guard and how that looks. I'm actually excited to see what happens with Evan Neal at guard. Let me know how you guys feel about that. Once you put Evan Neal in the phone booth, in between the center and the tackle, I think it allows him to not think as much and can just play and be more relaxed. When he was out there on the island by himself, he was straight up panic mode all the time. It's way too many things that can happen on the outside. And Evan Neal, despite being athletic, I saw him do the box jumps. He don't have the best feet. He doesn't. And it shows up on film. Now, when it comes to run blocking, he's pretty good at run blocking. So I'll take that. If you put him on the inside, it should work. It should work. Now, the bad thing about it is if he becomes a good center, you got to turn around. A good guard, you got to turn around and pay him right away. But hopefully he understands that, hey, you're going to get a prove it deal. I'm not going to fall for the one-hit wonder type of season. No, it's not going to happen. So he needs to be realistic when it comes to that. Shout out to TD Minus. He says, my girl just graduated college. Megan Good gave the worst speech I've heard. Oh, well, shout out to your girl for graduating college. Round of applause. That's good stuff, man. So salute and congratulations to TD Minus's girl. That's good. That's good news. Deb Ellis says JMS has been playing hurt though. He has, and that's one thing. And he got hurt Well, what he got hurt doing the tush push. His neck got hurt doing the tush push, and then, things stemmed from that. Hopefully he's healthy, and hopefully you're right. Hopefully you're right. Because I need him to play better. But like I said, when I stuck my neck out for JMS, I got into a lot of arguments, a lot of debates. I'm still getting a lot of jokes thrown my way for being such a supporter of JMS. But when I watched him at Minnesota, I liked what I saw. I thought it would transition. I thought his skill set in college, what he did, he would come into the league. It would be not easy for him, but he was like a plug and play center. And I'm not getting that so far. So it is what it is with that. Kyler talking about that 2023 Dallas game. He says, I was at that game soaking wet. Yeah, it was raining. Remember that interception? That interception that for Barkley? And Barkley just was sitting. They were going to commercial. Well, you don't know because you were at the game. You weren't watching it on TV. Barkley just was sitting on the ground. Rain was pouring while they was going to commercial and just shaking his head. That was bad, man. And the way that game started had a lot of people fooled, man. The way that game started, we went right down the field. We got right down the field, got into the red zone, back-to-back penalties, and then a field goal gets blocked. And then we turn around, and then it's a pick six. And then, like you said, the sky opened up, and God allowed it to rain on the New York Giants, and it did. What's going on, Giant Topic? That was a bad game. 40 burger. TD Midas says they hate JMS. They keep putting bums next to him. That's hilarious. Now, speaking of bums being next to JMS, the rookie that we got, Marcus Bowe, right? He played tackle at Purdue. A lot of people are projecting him to be a very good guard because of his arm length, and his arms got measured a couple times. He was sub 33 at the combine, and then the Giants, I think Joe Schoen said that he measured his arms on two separate occasions, and then he's right at 33, so he meets that threshold for a tackle. And I love the feat. I love Marcus Imbo. I love Marcus Bowe. I'm gonna get his name right. I'm on a consistent basis. I like his feet. I like what he can do. He's athletic. He also has a mean streak. When they were talking about him at the podium when they drafted him, Joe Schoen and Brian Dable didn't seem like they were, eye to eye when it came to, okay, I'm gonna start him off at tackle, but I like his versatility. And Joe Schoen just kind of laughed a little bit. Listen, man, for me, I'm putting Marcus Bowe on the outside at tackle until he shows me that he can't do it. I understand his arms are 33 or slightly under 33, but he's been playing with those same arms his whole college career. He played right tackle. I believe that's what got him drafted. Projection as well. I'm putting him on the outside until he shows me that he can't be on the outside. That's how I feel about Marcus Bowe. My man Broadway says if they put Evan Neal on the same side as Thomas, he says, OMG. A lot of people go back and forth on that. A lot of people say, you know what, him being next to Thomas might help him. For me, I don't know. I don't want to do that to Thomas. The best guy that we've had in Andrew Thomas. Now you want to talk about somebody playing next to trash? Andrew Thomas has been playing next to trash. Now, Runyon got hurt early last year, so it is what it is. But outside of last season, it was a revolving door at guard next to Andrew Thomas. He's the one that deserves somebody to be solid next to him. I believe Runyon should be good to go. Keep Runyon on that side, man. Keep Runyon on that side. What's going on, Greg? Greg says, what's up from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina? Shout out to Myrtle Beach. Shout out to Myrtle Beach. My big brother in the building. Shamari, what's going on, big bro? All right. Shout to Deb Ellis with the $5 super sticker. No comment, just a super sticker. I appreciate the love and support. Thank you very much, Deb. My man Maxie says, I agree we need some continuity. Yeah, for me, when it comes to this offensive line, I guess I'm in the minority when I think that, okay, this offensive line, the number one thing is Andrew Thomas staying healthy, or I should say just offensive line in general staying healthy. When everybody was playing and healthy, the offensive line was not that bad. I'm also in the minority that believe that good quarterback play, just like good offensive line play helps the quarterback, good quarterback play helps the offensive line. You got a guy in Russell Wilson who is quicker in processing than Daniel Jones was, than Tommy DeVito was. And I think that's going to help the offensive line as well. When the guys can make a quick decision, can get the ball out quick, everybody benefits from that. Oh boy. TD Midas says trade Winston to get Chris Olave. Listen, Chris Olave is very, very talented. Also, Chris Olave has concussions every year, multiple concussions every year. That is a high risk. Think about the amount of concussions. And I'm not even joking when it comes to these concussions. I thought Sterling Shepard had a concussion issue, right? Chris Olave makes Sterling Shepard's concussion issue look like nothing at all. Like, let's be honest. Just look at his injury history. How many games he missed due to concussions? It scares me. Now, he's young, he's talented. If it works, that's one thing. But I'm not giving up my backup quarterback because, again, if everything works out the way that the organization wants it to work out, okay, so we got Russell Wilson. Eventually, Jackson Dart is going to take over. Once Jackson Dart takes over, it's over for Russell Wilson. Who's your backup quarterback then? Who? You need to keep Winston. You do need to keep Winston. Now, if you want to trade Hyatt for Olave, you're probably going to have to give something else up because Hyatt has not proven himself yet. But I'm not giving up Jameis Winston. I'm not giving up a backup quarterback. We just got, in my opinion, a solid quarterback room. Just think about what we've been dealing with. Now we have Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and who we all believe is going to be the future in Jackson Dart. Let's not mess that up. Oh boy. It's funny, but it's not funny off Broadway. It's funny, but it's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. Anthony Mixon says, hey, Dash, tell me who covers George Pickens. I'm worried about that for y'all. He said for y'all, so who is your team? So let me know before Anthony Mixon. Let me know who your team is. Because you might be a Dallas fan. You might be behind enemy lines, so let me know. Let me know. But I will say this. I'm not going to sit here and be oblivious to the situation that Dallas has going on. Just the NFC East alone, there's a lot of good duos now in the NFC East. I'm still trying to figure out who's going to be the sidekick to Neighbors. Most likely it's going to be Slayton. We'll see what happens. Again, good quarterback play should help Slayton's numbers. But that's what the zone defense is for. That's why you go to the zone. That's why you go to the zone defense. Let's be honest. When you look at the wide receivers, again, I like Paulson Adebo. Tay Banks has some developing to do. I don't trust them guys, winning constantly with one-on-ones against CeeDee Lamb or even George Pickens. No. I don't expect a lot of cornerbacks to be able to stay with CeeDee Lamb or George Pickens. I know what these guys can do. I've seen these guys play. When you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, you got Smitty. You got A.J. Brown. When you go to the Commanders, you got Terry and you got Debo. It's not about who's going to cover these guys. It's about who's going to get to the quarterback before the quarterback gets a chance to get the ball to these guys. That's what it is for me when it comes to these Giants. So I don't have an answer for you who's going to cover George Pickens. I will say this, though. It depends on what side of the field, because I think we're going to go, again, zone. I don't think we're going to have Paulson Adebo travel with the number one wide receiver. I think we're going to play a lot of zone defense on the back end because that's what Bowen does. So it just depends on what side of the field he lines up on. Now, if we got to go man to man, I'm most likely put Tay Banks on George Pickens, and I'm playing press because that's what Tay Banks does the best is press, and he's strong enough. I think he's strong enough to hang with George Pickens. That's my answer. That's the answer I got for you. Another person, Cowboys have George Pickens besides neighbors. We only got slim Pickens at wide receivers. Bro, yeah. TD Myers, he's bringing up a great point. Pickens is a crash out. He'll cover himself. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. It's true. Christopher Moody, what's going on, Christopher? He says, I want to see Bryce Ford Wheaton get a shot. I don't know, brother. I don't know. You tell me where he's going to get the shot. He got to show out in camp. He got to show out in preseason. He's on the outside looking in as well to me right now. Just think about how deep this wide receiver room. We just got rid of little Jordan Humphreys. He got cut. But when you look at the wide receiver room, and I'm just going to run it down off memory right now, just the guys that we have right now. Obviously, you got Neighbors, you got Slayton, you got Wandell, you got Hyatt, right? Then after that, you got what? You got Felton, who's a rookie that might make the team. You got Bryce Ford Wheaton, and there's a bunch of other people that really don't matter right now. Juice Wells is another one that has an opportunity to make the team, and then there's a bunch of other guys that, like I said, what's the guy? Pascal is another one. John Pascal. Bryce Ford, you know what? Now that I think about it, he might have a chance. I think we keep 6 wide receivers. I think we keep 6. Yeah, I think we keep 6 wide receivers, so he might have a chance. We're paying Felton a lot of money as an undrafted free agent. I mean, a lot of money for an undrafted free agent, but we kind of gave him the same deal that we gave Bryce Ford Wheaton. So maybe those two guys might be fighting it out. I don't know. Stephen R says Andrew Phillips on Pickens. I'm not going to tell Andrew Phillips he can't stick Pickens. I'm not going to say that to him because he's feisty. He played outside at Kentucky a bit. Again, his strong suit is nickel slot. So I'm not going to say he can't. I don't want to see that matchup. Victor says Chris is he's too valuable as a return man right now, but I would like to see him on a few plays to see if who are you talking about? Chris. He could add to the wide receiver. You talking about Chris Olave? Yeah. Hirsch says Banks is our third best CB. Who you putting in front of? You putting Phillips? You putting Phillips in front of him, huh, Hirsch? I like the rookies though. I like O'Donnell Fortune, and I do like Corey Black. I do think they both got a chance of making this team. We'll see what happens though. Now you're talking to my heart, man. Pause. TD Midas says, yo, I really wanted Belly to become a nice tight end. Talking about Bellinger. Yeah, me too. You know what? It's crazy too because we just drafted this tight end. I think Bellinger. I don't know how he ended up in the doghouse for Brian Dable, but I think he's going to be fighting for his life. In all honesty, all through training camp, and it won't be a lack of him and lack of him giving effort or anything like that. Just opportunities. They really like Chris Manhertz. Obviously, Theo Johnson is their guy too. I don't know how Bellinger ended up on the outside looking in, but right now he is, and I'm a big fan of Bellinger. I think he has a lot to bring. And I believe if he doesn't make the New York Giants, he's going to get picked up very quickly. And hopefully it's not Dallas, because Dallas will actually use him because they love using their tight ends. Philly too. Hirsch says we should have we would have kept Big Jordan Humphreys. Yeah, little Jordan Humphreys hilarious when he's 6'5". Anthony Mixon says Russell Wilson isn't bad in my opinion or washed. He's the best QB y'all had in a bit. Yeah, listen. It's a decent split. it's a decent split within the fan base of how they feel about Russell Wilson. Again, I was watching Bobby Skinner, and I don't believe he's high on Russell Wilson. And then you watch some other people, and I think they're saying the same thing. For me, I know Authentic. Shout out to Authentic in the bid. Authentic is a fan of Russell Wilson, and he expects him to be, like me, the best quarterback we've had in some time. And he's still got some left in the tank, and he should be able to succeed with Brian Daboll. So it just depends on how you feel about him. Wheaton is toast. Yeah, Wheaton might be toast. Stephen R says Smith-Marsette has to make the team because of the kick. Yeah, I think he's safe. His role is strictly as a returner. I think he is safe. He just got a new contract. I think he's good. Plus, he's a Jersey native, Newark native. So shout out to Smith-Marsette. That's what I want to talk about. So Tyrone says how we set at kicker. Is Gano straight? Gano is not straight in my opinion. He might be healthier than what he was last year, but he's old. He keeps on getting injured, even though they're fluke injuries. It's because he's sitting there chasing people down. He's pulling hamstrings and sore calf muscles and stuff like that. Once your kicker starts getting leg injuries and he's missing games, and him missing games is the reason why you lost the game, like the Commanders in week 2, we need a kicker. We really do need a kicker. It's the thing that everybody mentions, but nobody really talks about, or we talk about it briefly and then we move on. No, we really do need a kicker. I don't know who that kicker is going to be. I don't care who that kicker is going to be, but give me somebody that's healthy. Graham Gano, I don't know how old. Graham Gano got to be, 35, 36, 37 years old. I don't know for sure. It might be time to hang it up. It might be time. Plus, I want that jersey number. I need the number 9 back in rotation. Shout out to Graham Gano. My man Mosley says Russ will play his way to an extension. Let me tell you something. The only way Russell Wilson gets an extension, to your point, you say he will play his Giants go to the playoffs. Giants possibly win a playoff game. I think that's the only way he gets an extension is playoffs. Because from right now, everybody seems to be falling in love with Jackson Dart, and I don't think you prolong his development. I don't like Jackson Dart can sit for 2025, let him develop. But 2026, Jackson Dart better be on the field. I mean, maybe that's just me. You guys let me know. By the time 2026 gets here, I expect he's a first-round pick. I expect Jackson Dart to be on the field in 2026. Russ would have to do something incredible. First off, to get that extension, because they already have the backup plan with Jameis Winston being the backup quarterback. He got the 2-year deal. He would have to do something incredible to get that extension, and for them to put Jackson Dart on hold again, or the times we do see Jackson Dart, he just does not look good at all, which I don't think that's going to happen. But if Jackson Dart gets in garbage time and he looks horrible, or they're watching him in practice and things don't look right, maybe. I don't think that happens, but yeah, I don't know if he gets that extension just like that. He would have to do something incredible, though. And guess what? I would love him to do something incredible, because if he does, that means the New York Giants are winning, and we're we got our respect back. I'll say that. So I do hope for that, but I don't know about that though. MKM says still want Sanders on the Giants team. Listen, man, I was watching some of his clips today too. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, he looked good. He looked good for the Browns and throwing on air just like Jackson Dart, 7-on-7 in shorts. If I can be happy for Dart looking good in practice, I could be happy for Shedeur as well looking good in practice. It is what it is. Oh, I must have missed something. Victor Castro says Danny Boy Wandell has trash thrown to him all year. He says Russ gonna make him the security blanket at slot, but with some yak this time. Oh, I gotta go back to see what Danny Boy said. What Danny Boy say? I don't even see it. Where's Danny Boy? Oh, I see what he said. Wan'Dale is trash. That's hilarious. Nah, listen. I will say this. Wan'Dale, I'll agree with everybody else. Or whoever else is saying it though, because it was more than one. Wan'Dale is not trash. Wan'Dale is limited. He is limited, but he is not trash. And to your point, when you watch Wan'Dale at Kentucky, he was a yak monster. I hate saying that. He was a yak monster though. Yards after the catch, ball placement, timing has a lot to do with it. Daniel Jones turned Wan'Dale Robinson into a 5-yard completion junkie. That was it. The few times that he got the ball in stride, he was able to make some plays, make some people miss. I remember that. And then it takes me back to his years at Kentucky. But when it comes to what Russell Wilson likes to do, he likes to throw the deep ball. They would have to change some of the route concepts for Wan'Dale Robinson for him to be successful with Russell Wilson, in my opinion. But in the times that he will get the ball, I think the ball placement and the timing will be somewhere where, he could take advantage and get some yak yards. But for me, Wan'Dale Robinson should not be the primary slot receiver. I think of him more as a gadget guy, and I say that respectfully. I say he should be your gadget guy. If he's playing running back a little bit, and I don't know if that's going to happen now with Scatterboo and Tracy. Last year was probably his best chance, to be a receiving threat out of the backfield. But he should be the gadget guy. I don't need Wan'Dale Robinson getting 140 targets in 2025. That should not happen. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, I don't think he's trash though. I started going on the tangent. Hirsch says Fedoni will replace Belly after season. Listen, one thing we learned about tight ends is that the New York Giants, or this regime, really doesn't care about their tight ends for the most part. They got Bellinger. He played well, got hurt, came back, played well, and then they got Darren Waller. Darren Waller replaced Daniel Bellinger. They switched up the offense a little bit to, please, or you try to get use of Darren Waller, but they didn't even use Darren Waller correctly. Then he was dealing in and out with injuries, and then he got divorced and then retired. Right after that, we went ahead and got Theo Johnson, and Chris Manhertz. We put Daniel Bellinger at the bottom of the bench, underneath the bench, and we haven't seen him since. And that's the part that makes me upset, because even like his rookie year before he got the eye injury, he was balling. When he came back after the eye injury, I think he missed like 5 weeks with the eye injury, he still played pretty well. He made plays in the Minnesota game. And then we got Darren Waller, and the funny thing about Darren Waller is everybody was screaming that we needed a wide receiver one. And what did Joe Schoen do? He went out and got a tight end. He went out and got a tight end, and it didn't work out. And then when we finally got the wide receiver one, we drafted another tight end, and now again Daniel Bellinger is just underneath the bench right now in the doghouse, and it sucks because I think he is a good tight end. He said he's 5'8". Oh man, he said nah, he got to go. He ain't going nowhere, man. This is his last year, contract year for him. They're gonna let it play out. I'll tell you this though, if they don't plan on, like, say, I'm not even gonna go there. Never mind. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna leave it alone. Shout out to my man Coach Ed in the building. If you're not subscribed to Coach Ed, make sure you go ahead and do that. Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports. Again, Coach, you know how I feel about you, man. Love you, Coach. Make sure you guys go out and support my man Coach Ed. So, see, this is a good question right here. G-Man says, you think our defense is top 8 in the league on paper? On paper, I think we have a top 10 defense on paper. The problem is, I don't know what the hell Shane Bowen is. I don't know what he is. I don't know if he can develop a scheme for the players on this roster. I don't know if he's still trying to run the defense from Tennessee, because that's what it looks like he was trying to do, even though the personnel was different. On paper, when I just look at the names, if I write them down on a piece of paper, I would say yes, G-Man, we have a top. I won't say top 8. I'll say top 10. I know it's a difference of 2 spots. I understand, but I'll say a top 10 defense on paper. Shane Bowen is the wild card here for me. I don't know what to expect from Shane Bowen, but guess what? I got no excuses for Shane Bowen. I don't know what to expect, but I got no excuses. Shout out to my man DeMarco. He says, Dash, what's going on, DeMarco? How we doing? Hopefully you enjoying your Saturday night. Isaac says, I'm still mad how we lost to Washington. 7 field goals, our kicker goes down, and we scored 3 touchdowns and lost. In true Giants fashion, yeah, that was the most New York Giants way to lose. I can't say ever, because we've lost games in some terrible, like the Jets game in 2023? The Jets game in 2023? How did we lose? Never mind. Never mind. Hirsch says Dart will get the Eli Manning treatment, meaning you talking about he's coming in after what, 5 weeks, 5 games, 6 games? When did Eli come in when they benched Kurt Warner? It was like week 8. What were we, 5-3? Were we 5-3, 5-4 when they put Eli in? I know we had a winning record when we put Eli in. I knew that much. But yeah, he's already getting the Eli treatment. Actually, he might be getting better than the Eli treatment, because when Eli was a rookie, actually, I don't know. I gotta think back. That's a long time ago. We're talking over 20 years ago. 2004. Yeah, 2004. Come on, man. I'll say this: Jackson Dart behind the microphone. Pause. He did a great job. The beat writers seemed to love him. He pulled a Jedi mind trick on those guys. He walked up to the podium. He said, before you guys start asking questions, please say your name first. I want to get to know you guys. And the beat writers fell in love. Did you see some of the videos the beat writers put out? Oh, I've never seen a quarterback do this before. I've never seen a rookie. He asked us our names. Secret sauce. Pause. Jackson Dart hit him with some swag. And listen, if you got the beat writers in your corner, you're doing all right. You're doing all right. And that was after 1 practice. Oh, Victor got upset. Victor Castro says, LOL, you ain't got faith in Robinson. Come on, bro. Understand who we had throwing. Yeah, listen, I understand. Yeah, I understand. Off Broadway says, Dash, give a prediction of Russell Wilson's stats this year. The on-paper stats. I'll say 3,800 yards. 3,800 yards. If he plays a full 17 games, 3,800 yards, 27 touchdowns, maybe 10 interceptions. That's where I'm at right now for Russell Wilson. That's where I'm at right now for Russell Wilson. 3,800 yards, 27 touchdowns. Yeah, I like that. I would love for him to crack 4,000 yards, though. Mosley said, let's seriously discuss and we're not getting rid of Wandale no time soon, man. My man Pink Pompey says it was duck hunting in Cleveland. I saw a couple of ducks out there. People couldn't wait for him to throw a duck, though. I saw that too. That was yesterday. Today, I don't think there was a duck thrown at all today, but listen, it is what it is. He's a Cleveland Brown. Jackson Dart's a New York Giant. I'm over it. I'm past it. I only talk about it when you guys talk about it. Luann says Sports Shows says Dart throws a lot of it. He did. He threw a lot of picks. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna hold you. He did throw a lot of picks. He did. Can't sugarcoat it. Can't try to cover it up and run away from it. He threw a lot of picks. He did. I mean, I'm sorry. He did. Got to take the good with the bad. Danny Boy says respectfully, y'all don't want to say it. It's all right. He threw his hands up. Danny said, forget it. It's all right. It's all right. I'm going to leave it alone. Y'all got it. That's hilarious. I don't know about that. Victor Castro says Wan'Dale was looked at as Harvin 2.0 at one point. I don't know about that, Victor. Percy Harvin 2.0? I don't know. That's high praise. Side Guy Brian says, will Turbo ever get off the practice? No, it's not happening. I'm sorry. It's not happening. He deserves to get a chance too. I would love to see him in the regular game, but he's not cracking it. We're keeping three running backs because we're keeping 3 quarterbacks when we normally only keep 2. Yeah. No, Turbo don't got a chance. Turbo probably makes the practice squad. It's either between him or Eric Gray that makes the practice squad, in my opinion. That's if they even want Eric Gray. And the crazy thing about Eric Gray, I thought he had something, and he let me down as well. Yeah. I don't think Turbo or Eric Gray, but one of those guys will make the practice squad. Danny boys, listen, y'all gonna be arguing all day. Throw your hands up, Danny. It's over, man. It's over, man. You're not gonna win this one. You know the crazy thing is, once you bring Harvin and Percy Harvin, and you should be able to win that argument, but I don't think they're gonna let you win, Danny. I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm not comparing Wan'Dale to Percy Harvin at all. Nope. My man, I'm just gonna say X. I'm not gonna butcher your name respectfully. X says Theo turns out this year. I think if he's healthy, yeah. If he's healthy and good to go, yeah. I think Russell Wilson will be able to get him the ball. Absolutely. He should. I mean, we should be using the tight ends more. Absolutely. Victor says, Russ mentioned him by name. He's going to eat this year. Listen, I think that's cool. Dable loves Dart. I got to get caught up. I'm like 7 minutes behind in the comment section. What's going on, D-Dan? My man John Ray, I believe he's saying we're not finishing last in the division this year. I think that's what you're going to say. He said, hey, yo, secret sauce. Calm down, man. Pause, man. Pause. Y'all got to get your minds out the gutter. My man JJ the King says, let's go, G-Man. He said, Big Dash just tuned in after WWE Backlash pay-per-view tonight. What did I miss? You ain't missed too much. We talked about the rookies. We still talking about the rookies. Talking about Jackson Dart. Well, we were talking about that. We were talking about the defense and how if we had a top 10 defense or not. On paper, I said yes. Now we're having a mini argument about how good Wan'Dale Robinson is between Danny Boy and some other folks in the chat. But you ain't missed too much today, man. I like the way Jackson Dart looked in these practices, in the mini camp. You can't do much about Darius Alexander or Marcus Bowe. But Scatterbo looked good in the drills. Again, we're not tackling, and what is he known for? Breaking tackles. So we didn't see much from them, but the highlight of the last 2 days is Jackson Dart and 7-on-7 looking pretty good. The ball got some spin on it. It was windy today, and the ball cut right through the wind. He had a couple of deep passes. One got dropped. The other one was for a touchdown, walk-off touchdown. So, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Just this rookie class and the minicamp. Yeah. I can't wait for them to let us know who the guys are that actually made the team from tryouts. Because I believe we got 88. I think it's only 10 spots left, so we'll see what happens. Nah, that's not happening. Christopher Moody says Turbo over Singletary. That's not happening. I understand, like, Singletary is in the doghouse, not for the coaching staff, but for the fans. I do agree with that. If it wasn't for Singletary fumbling the ball, we probably wouldn't know what Tyrone Tracy was, because him fumbling the ball got Tyrone Tracy the chance to play and show out. But Turbo was not making this team over Singletary. That's not happening. That might fly over people's heads. Coach A says you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have it. The facts of life. Some people don't even know that. You see the way I had to say it. I had to say it like the song, like the show. I don't think everybody old enough to catch that. Hirsch caught it. Hirsch caught it for sure. Oh boy, it said Tracy, Cam, and Turbo are my 3 running backs. Listen, maybe Singletary got guaranteed money though. I'm telling you, man, I don't think that happens. I'll ask you this question though, Christopher Moody. We know that Turbo was fast, but we haven't seen him in games that mattered. What is he? Is he just a fast guy? Is he a guy that a lot of people are just hoping for because he has a great story? Depending on how it ends, if it's going to be great or a tragic story or whatever. I mean, he made it to the NFL, so, that part's good, but the journey was definitely something that's exciting or, pretty much a good story. But I don't think he's making it, man. I don't think he makes it over. Now, when you look at it's some guys that are UDFAs that I think are going to beat out Turbo. The guy from Elon most likely is going to make it or get reps over Turbo. Danny Boy said he tapped out. He's done. That's hilarious. Shout out to my man, that Dark friend says great stuff. Had to put Tyler back down, so catching up. Also, is Nacho going to be a cap casualty? I wouldn't be surprised if he was. What does he save us, like $2 million? I think $3 million. I don't have the numbers up in front of me. I will say this though. It's penny when you think about Nacho, when you think about Daniel Bellinger, that's penny pinching. As far as that's what you might get $4 million out of that, possibly $4 million. The way you really save cap space this year, you gotta mess with Dexter's contract. You gotta mess with Brian Burns' contract. Those are the 2 contracts you touch, pause, in order to generate or get some good money for the cap. Bobby Okereke, I think a lot of that is guaranteed money. So the cap hit might be too high for Bobby Okereke, but I don't want to mess with Bobby Okereke. I don't want to waive him. I don't want to cut him. I think he's going to have a bounce back year. But it's 2 contracts, maybe 3 contracts if you include Andrew Thomas. But Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, especially Brian Burns, that's probably where you can save the most money is the Brian Burns contract. So Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, and Andrew Thomas. If you really want to save some money, if you really want to get the cap healthy, those 3 contracts are what you're going to mess with. If not, you're penny pinching. And then you're going to be cutting guys that you need to replace. Now, when it comes to Nacho too, though, a lot of people don't like Nacho. It's not Nacho's fault that he's the starter for the New York Giants. Nacho should have never been a starter for the New York Giants. He is a good rotational guy. The New York Giants made him a starter. I can't even say they paid him like a starter because he really wasn't making like crazy money anyway. But Nacho coming off the bench in a rotational role is good for us, if that makes sense. Nacho as a starter, not good. Nacho coming off the bench in spells or spurts, I should say. Yeah. That's a better move for the New York Giants. Or at least in my opinion. Man, off Broadway said, I know the facts of life. So yeah, that's a fact. Stop, man. He says Tootie all day, every day. Cut it out, man. Side guy Brian says you talk about Turbo. Turbo's the Hyatt of running backs. That's crazy. Y'all gotta stop with this Tootie stuff, man. Good Lord. Well, you done got coach started. I think I'm caught up. That Dark friend says that's fair. Nacho is a depth guy for sure. Burns definitely needs to be adjusted. Good call. Nah, that's the only way you get good money is that Burns contract. The Burns contract has to go ahead and turn some of that money into a bonus or put some void years on it. I don't know what you got to do, but you can easily probably get $8 to $10 million out of that Burns contract alone. If you add Dexter and you add Andrew Thomas, then you probably, out of those 3 contracts, you can probably get about $30 million. And that's just me thinking about it off the top. Pause. I didn't even dig into like Spotrac or Spotrac, however you want to say that whatever that website is. Is it Spotrac or Spotrac, whatever. Over the Cap is another website as well. You can look and see, but come on. Christopher Moody makes a good point. Says Darius Alexander is the X factor on this defense this year. Yeah, he's a guy that I expect to be the starter next to Dex, as the other DT. I believe Chauncey Golson is going to be the DE in that 3-man front. So, and then again, Alexander has the run defensive grades, man. Like, that's what he did in college. He stopped the run. And that's exactly what we need next to Dexter. I need a guy that can hold his own when Dexter is off the field too. You know what I mean? What you saying about Jordan Riley and Alexander? Let me see what you say. What you say? I missed what you said first, Victor. But you said Alexander. You know what's crazy, Danny boy? You know who else said? Danny boy, let me ask you a question. Do you know Charlie from Maine? Do you know Charlie from Maine? Just answer yes or no if you know Charlie from Maine. Charlie said the same thing this morning, and they were letting him have it. Pause. Darius Alexander is 300 pounds. He's he's not small, man. He's not small. He said no, so you don't know Charlie from Maine. Well, Charlie's famous. Charlie's one of the most famous negative New York Giants fans out there. Shout out to Charlie from Maine. Charlie's my guy, man. And but Charlie said the same thing. He said he's small. Listen, he's 300. They got him. Listen, Danny, he's 6'4". He's 6'4". If he's only 300 pounds, I would be surprised if he's really only 300 pounds. Like, he looks big. He might be 310, 315. I don't know, but still, he doesn't play like a small defensive tackle. I'll put it that way. Ghost Dog said Charlie is hilarious. Mosley says Charlie is the man. Danny Boy says 300 is not small. It's not. 6'4" too. I mean, of course, like, everybody can't be Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is like a unicorn. To be 6'4", 340 pounds and move like that, like Dexter Lawrence is a unicorn. Not everybody can do that. Dexter Lawrence moves like a 300-pound guy. He's just 340 pounds. So it's different. But yeah, he's not small. Coach Ed says 300 pounds is small next to me. We already know, Coach. You doing good though too. I know you said you was losing some weight. Shout out to Sean Jackson. He says, what's up, Big Dash? I'm late to your show tonight after the Knicks game. Gave me a headache earlier, shaking my head. Watched the Giants All Access Dart episode. Shane looked exhausted after Dart trade pressure on Dabes. That's what you got from it. I like that. I enjoyed both episodes of Giants Life. One thing I did see is this. Like, there were rumors about guys being split on the quarterback. You had guys that like Shedeur Sanders in the building. You had guys that did like Jackson Dart in the building. It's clear to me, especially after watching that episode, it's clear to me that Brian Daboll said, I want Jackson Dart. Clear as day to me. I want Jackson Dart. The way his reaction was when they announced his name, the way that he's interacting with him right now and at practice, he's smiling, high-fiving, dapping, always around him. Daboll got the guy that he wanted. I don't know how many other people in the building want him, but I know when they called his name, they was giving out a lot of high fives. So obviously he was the guy for the New York Giants as far as that goes. But yeah, he did call around him a bunch of he tried, but he was waiting for the Steelers pick After the Steelers picked, he had phone calls with, what was it, the Rams? He had Les Snead with the Rams, and Les Snead was trying to play Shane the whole time. That's crazy, because he was going to take Jackson Dart too, or that was the rumors, because once we traded up with Houston to get Jackson Dart, they traded back. But anyway, and Les was kept calling. I guess he kept calling to see what the Giants were going to do. And as soon as he said he was going with Houston, you saw, and we picked up Jackson Dart, they traded out of their pick. Coach says Daboll has a man crush on Dart. I think so. I do think so. Shout out to my man off Broadway with the $5 super chat. He says, keep up the good work. I appreciate the love and support, man. Thank you very much. And guess what? I will keep up the good work. Shout out to y'all, man. Said he called the Chargers too. I know he called. They got the Texans. He talked to Les. Les is the guy for the Rams. I missed it. If he talked to the guy from the Chargers, I missed it. Big Blue says they glazed Dart too much. Ghost Dog said laughing and giggling. That's a fact. Okay, Corey Alum says, please explain the difference in contracts for UDFAs versus a full contract versus a walk-on or invites. What they get paid versus league minimum on pay does UDFA gets less. And what's okay. So I don't have exact numbers, but I'll break it down to the best of my ability for you. So there's a certain pot for UDFAs, right? So a good UDFA contract, like I'll say, for example, Bryce Ford Wheaton got $250,000 guaranteed for UDFA. Normally UDFAs get around $50,000, and it depends. Some guys get $7,000. Some people just get traveling expenses. But if they really like you, then you're not making like $500,000. I think the most, some of the richer contracts for UDFAs is around that $250,000. So $250,000. That's a high-end UDFA. And that's if you think that guy has a chance of making the team and you really want the guy to come to your team as a UDFA because they have the freedom to go wherever they want, or whoever calls them or offers them a contract. So a high-end UDFA is about $250,000 on the high end. Guys, you have invites to the rookie mini camp, right? Those guys pretty much are just getting an invite to the camp. Maybe they get it. Maybe somebody buys their airfare or something like that. And usually a lot of those guys are local too. When they come for a tryout, right? So they're usually on their own dime coming in for a tryout. No real, maybe they get $5,000. Maybe they get, $2,500 when it comes to those tryouts. That's what happens with these tryouts. So the money is a lot different. UDFAs normally don't have any kind of it really doesn't matter when it comes to guaranteed money. But so like Bryce Ford Wheaton, it was like a guaranteed $250,000. What's his name? Tay Felton, the guy we picked up from Virginia Tech, wide receiver. I believe his offer was about $250,000 too. So that's it, man. They're not making a lot of money. These UDFAs, they're not making a lot of money. I mean, to me, to the regular person, yeah, $250,000, yeah, I'll take it. I will take it. But for these guys, you figure they had a chance of making millions. And now they're just taking whatever they can get so they can prove their worth and make it to a team. Now, Bryce Ford Wheaton, he got that UDFA deal, but once he made the team, then that money changes. The contract he gets an actual roster contract, and then you start making real money. But that's pretty much the difference. Hopefully, you know what? Maybe I'll do a video and I can have the actual numbers and break that down for you guys. But that's pretty much how that works. Luann says, Daboll is a good coach and players love him. So my question is, should Daboll and Shane be extended? Oh boy, get extended contracts. I believe they should, especially that Daboll has his QB. Now that Daboll has his QB, I'll say this. They had 5-year contracts, right? This is the beginning of year 4. There's no rush to get these guys extended. There's no rush. Let them make it through the 2025 season. And then you could talk about possibly wanting to extend, but you still got 2 years left on their contract. So Mara's not in the rush right now. These guys almost went, to me, and a lot of people thought they were going to get fired. They chose not to do that. I'm actually happy now that he didn't do that because the free agency period and the rookie, I'm sorry, in the draft class seem to be fantastic right now. But they still got 2 years left on their contract. I don't see any kind of rush in trying to extend them. They're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? They're not going. It's not like players. You're talking about the coach. You got, you got some time. I wouldn't even worry about that right now. Okay, OKC Donald says late, but I'm here. Dash, shout out to you. OKC says let's talk about the vibe. Is it DHF? Can't wait. Who's DHF? Let me know. It's different. Oh, the vibe is different. You can feel it. I'll say it's different. I mean, I think it might have just been so the vibe is different. Can't wait for week 1. I got you now. It's different. You can feel it with the new rookies and all of the beasts in on both sides of the ball already here. Listen, the energy is different. The energy is absolutely different. I went from thinking, okay, it's going to be horrible to I'm loving every move that we made. Like, I'm really loving every move that we made. So I'm excited, man. And it does feel different. And it, like I said, I've been fooled before. I've fallen on my face before. But I'm very, very excited about this defense, first off. And I really do think that quarterback play will help this offense out a lot. So I'm excited right there with you. Shout out to my man Phil in the building. He says the way Dable is giddy around Dart, he said, gives me hope he's going to be good. Listen, if he's happy, he got his guy, he got to make it work. It's up to Dable, man. It's up to Dable. I'm going to ask you guys a question. Should Brian Dable call the plays? Do you guys want Brian Dable to call the plays? That's my question. Let me know if you guys think he should call the plays or he should give it back to Kafka. Danny Boy, same thing here, man. I want Hyatt to get a shot. I want him to get a shot too. The funny thing about Hyatt too, he was making plays all summer long, and then when it got to the games, it just didn't happen. JJ says no. JJ the King says no. Danny Boy says no. Coach Ed had a question. Max C says depends. Coach Ed says, Dash, who are you starting 11 on defense? Starting 12 because I'm going to count Andrew Phillips. I'm going to count Phillips, so I'm going to say 12, right? Because we're going to have different. So, but you know what? I'll answer your question first. In a straight traditional 3-4 defense, right? In a 3-4-4, in a 3-4-4 defense, right? Traditional. I got Golston, Dexter, Darius Alexander. I got Burns, Okereke, Carter, Tibbs, and then I got Adebo, Holland, Newbin, and Tay Banks. That's my 11, and then of course that 12th person is going to be Andrew Phillips in the sub packages. For me right now, I got Micah McFadden on the outside looking in kind of, but I can see that easily flip. Because Okereke is older. Okereke, has 2 years left on his contract. But again, Michael McFadden is in the contract year. So let's see what happens with that. But that's if I was forced to, select right now. Off Broadway says the offense stats and overall play was better under Kafka, but then again, he had Saquon. That is a fact. We can't forget about that. We can't forget about that. Also, a lot of dinking and dunking, because we didn't have like our wide receiver room. Who that in 2022? Hold on, when did he take? He took play call in the middle of 2023, because we saw him take we saw him take the play call in week 2 in 2024 against in 2023 against the Cardinals. We saw Dable take the play calling in at like halftime, and then we came back out in that second half, and he went crazy. Daniel Jones had the big pass to Jalen Hyatt. So yeah, it is what it is. Coach Ed said, "I'm with you, Dash, on the 11-12 on defense." That's the way I'm calling. I'm curious to see what you guys say. Let me know what you guys think. We kind of know what the front is. Okay, let me ask you guys right now, right? Tibbs, Carter. Let's just talk about the linebackers, right? So, a lot of people get upset when I say Carter can play off ball because again, they draft. You don't draft an off ball linebacker at 3. I understand. Okay, but He's going to play some off-ball linebacker. But I'm just going to ask you guys. So out of the 3 linebackers off the ball on first and second down, you got Bobby Okereke, Micah McFadden, Abdul Carter. Who are you taking off the field? Let me know who you guys take between Okereke and McFadden. Who are you taking off the field out of those 2? I want to know what you guys think. There's no wrong answer either. There's no wrong answer. I just want to know what you guys think. My man Joe Long says, no matter what you all hypothesize, it comes down to our quarterback's ability. 100%. I can't argue with that. I'm not going to argue with that at all. You're absolutely right. C. Sanders, no, he is a Green Bay Packer. Simmons got signed by the Green Bay Packers. Christopher Moody says Kayvon. Luann says not McFadden. Coach Ed says Mac is off the field. Danny Boy says Kayvon for me. Max C says McFadden. Max C says why. He gave us a little reason why. He said he's good, but he's a liability in coverage. Talking about McFadden. Danny Boy says McFadden makes plays more than Tibbs, but it's 2 different positions. Tibbs is coming off the edge. So I'm gonna ask you too, Danny. So I'm gonna give you a chance to answer it again. Between the middle off ball linebackers, Okereke, McFadden. Again, we're talking first and second down, and Abdul Carter, because I do believe that Abdul Carter plays off ball linebacker in a Micah Parsons type role on first and second down. I think that's what happens. We'll see what happens though. Luann, I don't know why you wanted Simmons to stay when we didn't know how to play him. Like if Bowen knew how to play him, like he wasn't even used last year. It was crazy. Bowen didn't know what to do with Simmons. I'm actually glad he got a chance to go somewhere where the defensive coordinator knows how to use him, because he was drowning on the New York Giants. Wink had him playing. Bowen had this guy drowning on the bench. So I understand why you want him to stay, but for him, for his purposes, for him, no. We didn't know what to do with him. Kayvon took plays off in college. I saw that with the Giants. I remember seeing Kayvon Thibodeau chase a running back down the field, opposite side of the field, 30 yards down the field. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Simmons is an enigma. Nobody knew how to use him. Just play him at one position. He's coming in talking about he want to play linebacker, cornerback, safety. It sounds good, edge. It sounds good, but they didn't know where to put him. It seemed like he should be spying the quarterback at all times. That's what his job should be. When we play Philadelphia and athletic quarterbacks, he's your spy. Guess what? You don't need it anymore. You know why? Because Carter's probably going to be your spy, especially against Philadelphia. Imagine that. Imagine that. So we play Philly. We already know if you play man against Philadelphia, and everybody turns their back to the quarterback, Hurts is taking off. Not with a spy. And if you got a spy like Abdul Carter on Hurts, let's talk about it a little bit. Danny Boy says, who is Simmons anyway? Simmons. Let's see. Isaiah Simmons is who we're talking about, Danny. But I don't know if you're asking a real question or are you being sarcastic. But Isaiah Simmons. Coach says, as a former DC, the concept / games I can play would be wicked. Stunts, spies, man zone, defensive movements has me giddy. No, it absolutely. Like let's talk about Shane Bowen a little bit and what he came from. He likes to get pressure with the front four. He doesn't like to blitz a lot, but you don't have to blitz. There's a bunch of stunts that you can do. Offensive line stunts, blitz. There's ways to get creative. Ways to make it hard for the opposing offensive line. You got to do it. You got to do it because he really wants to play zone on the back end. You got to be able to get pressure with your front if you're going to play zone on the back end. I'm sorry. Or it looks like a soft zone and it ends up being like Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow having seven seconds to throw the ball out there. You got to get pressure with the front, man. Listen. Shane Bowen probably has the least amount of rope. Out of all the scenarios that I'm thinking about when it comes to the New York Giants, you got Brian Dable possibly being on the hot seat. Joe Schoen probably saved himself from being off the hot seat just with this offseason alone. But Brian Dable possibly on the hot seat if the offense doesn't look good. But if Shane Bowen, if this defense does not look good, Shane Bowen is toast. Shane Bowen won't make it to the end of the season. Not at all. We got, Marquand Manuel. He has DC experience. They already got a replacement on the staff just in case Shane Bowen messes it up. And I'm hoping that he doesn't, because there's too much talent on this defense for Shane Bowen to be holding his back. That's for sure. Now, a lot of people say, oh, pass rush. No, the number one thing for the New York Giants and the number one thing in football alone when it comes to defense is stopping the run. Go argue with your mama. That's the number one thing. Being able to stop the run is the most important thing that you can do. And then you can do everything else after that. And then there's pass rusher. But you got to be able to stop the run. The New York Giants have not been able to stop the run. You went and got Darius Alexander. So hopefully that helps us with the run defense. Then we can worry about everything else. But Shane Bowen, no excuses for Shane Bowen. No excuse. I'm gonna leave it at that. Shane Bowen is on the clock right now. Shane Bowen is on the clock right now. Period. Look at the names on this defense, man. I don't even want listen. I'm already. It's almost 2 hours into the show. If I start talking about Shane Bowen, I can go for another 2 hours. It's not. Listen, Shane Bowen better not mess this up. He better not mess this up. That's what I'm talking about, Trap. Trap says top 5 defense by week 4. I hope so. Listen. Yeah, I hope so. And it's crazy, too, because to go from where we were last year to this year, just as far as just how we think about this team and how we think about this defense. Last year was like, okay, we got Dexter Lawrence. And then as great as Dexter Lawrence is, he needs help on that defensive line. And we saw it. And then when he's off the field, we see what happens too. Like when Dexter Lawrence subs out, the opposing team goes no huddle. So he can't get back into the game. That's how important Dexter Lawrence is. But also, Dexter Lawrence deserves to get a break when he's tired. He's 340 pounds. He can't play 100% of the snaps. It's Joe Schoen's responsibility and the defensive staff's responsibility to have capable backups so that when Dexter Lawrence needs to get a sip of Gatorade, a sip of water, that he can do that without feeling bad. And as fans, we don't have to hold our head down every time Dexter Lawrence is on off the field, on the sideline, trying to catch his breath. It's ridiculous. My man Stephen R says 3 guys who can have 10 plus sacks this season. Who's your 3 guys, Steve? Let me know who your 3 guys are. I know Dexter Lawrence is going to be one of them. I say 4 guys with 10 plus sacks. And I'm hoping people are not sleeping on Kayvon Thibodeau. Again, Kayvon, whether you love him or you hate him, because it's a love-hate relationship when it comes to Kayvon Thibodeau. One thing that Kayvon Thibodeau loves is his money, and he loves his brand. He is on he got the 5th-year option, but this is still one of those contract type of years. He's going to show out. I think we might see the best Kayvon Thibodeau that we've ever seen because he's playing for like that future contract. Yeah, that's what we're gonna see the closer. We're not gonna see Kayvon Thibodeau. We're gonna see the closer. Nah, but I'm serious. 40 Lux says Abdul is an upgrade from Azeez for sure. Absolutely, no doubt in my mind. All right, here goes Steven's answer. He says Carter, Dex, Burns, Kayvon will be the 4, but Golson is a sneaky guy as well. Yeah. Victor says 40, that's for sure. Agreeing with 40 about Carter being an upgrade for Azeez. Absolutely. He said we can mix and match our edge rushers. I'm kind of sad that the guy we have from Arizona that we picked up, is it Demilka J, whatever, Victor. The guy that we picked up, edge rusher, he tore his pec, but he should be back. They're saying that he should be back by like training camp, but that's kind of quick for a torn pec though. We'll see what happens though. But I was kind of mad because he's a guy that can kind of like set the edge as well as an edge rusher. Another guy that's in that rotation. And we have Tibbs, we got Burns, we got Abdul Carter. Timon Fox might make the team, he might not. But Victor, I think he definitely makes the team. I thought he was going to definitely make the team. You got a good rotation, and for the first time in a long time, I think we got good depth on this team. Cornerback is a question mark outside of, once you get past Tay Banks and Flott, is a big question mark. Safety is a question mark after you get past the starters. But as far as like the edge room and the defensive line, this is the deepest our defensive line has ever been with quality guys. The two guys that we picked up in free agency, Ledbetter and the guy with the three names. I apologize to that man because I can't ever remember his name. I just know he got three names. The good dude from Jacksonville. But him and those are good value depth guys. And then Nacho, being, in his rightful place as a depth guy. This is the deepest this defensive line has ever been. Quality depth. Linebackers we have quality depth there as well too, because again, Carter's going to be mixing up some off ball and edge as well. And then Deontay Johnson, we forgot about him. He was a UDFA that made the team last year. He was playing lights out in preseason. He's back healthy. He seems like he could be a player for us too, be in that rotation. Darius Mursal is still here. I like the depth we have this year. My man 40 Luck says 7 wins is the floor, but I can see us going 10 wins and make the wild card. That, what? That's my range. 40 is 7 to 10 wins. That's my range. I can see us 7 to 10 wins, and again, 7 is the floor for me. 10 is my ceiling right now, but again, we'll see what happens. If Russell Wilson can get this offense going, I think that's very, very realistic. 10 wins is realistic, and that is a total 180 from how I felt not even, 3 weeks ago? So, yeah, I'm with it. Christopher Moody says, yeah, I could see 7. Danny Boy says, I see 4 or 5. Mac, you trying to make all the enemies in the world tonight, Danny. Danny Boy says, no way with this schedule. It's a funny thing because, again, I felt the same way. Not too long ago. I felt the same way. 4 to 5 max. I felt the same way. And then I started thinking about just the players on defense, the impact players on defense. And then the most important thing, and a lot of people like to throw in, we lost so many games that were one possession games last year. Like, I understand that, but again, we lost game. A loss is a loss, in my opinion. How we lost them, okay. Could we have won? Maybe we could have got like that first Washington game. We should have won that game. There's games that we let get away, of course. But the quarterback play, just the quarterback play alone is way better than what we had last year. That has to count for something. Complimentary football has to count for something. So I'm in that 7 to 10 range right now. If we only win 4 to 5 games, Dable is toast. Shane Bowen, toast. I think Joe Shane did enough that he probably saved his job, but I don't know, brother. He said, let's hope. That's hilarious. That's all we got right now is hope. And I'm high off the hopium right now. Luann says, Dash, the schedule does not scare me. Giants can beat anyone on that schedule. Listen, I'm with you. I want to be with you on that one. I'm not just going to sit here and act like that. It's not one of the toughest schedules. We do have the hardest schedule. That's what they're saying. It just depends on the product on the field and what we get. As far as defense, defensively, our defense versus a lot of these, I'm not scared of anybody. I'm not scared of anybody on our schedule when I'm just thinking about our defense right now. The wild card for me is this offense. I don't know what exactly to expect. I expect it to be better than what it was last year, but I don't really know exactly, how far I can jump out the window. That's where I'm at. I'm not all of MKM. I'm not there. I'm not at the 15-2 mark. I would love that. That would be fantastic. I'm not there yet, brother. I'm not. 40 Luck says Russ wants to be in New York bad. He's here. It's up to him whether or not he stays or not. He is here. It's up to him. He got the weapons. This offensive line, if it stays healthy, I think is good enough. I think it's good enough. My man double M7 says 9-8 sneaky wild card. Danny Boy's confirmed, yeah, number one hardest schedule. That's a fact. That's what he said. I think that's what NFL said that. We shouldn't be scared of anyone, but we behind the 8 ball. That's another way to look at it. I'm just saying for our D, when it comes to our defense, I'm not scared of none of these offenses. Like none of them. Getting Dexter Lawrence help now is it's a lot to put on the shoulders of Darius Alexander. I understand that, but that's what he did in college. He stopped the run, and that's what we needed. And Dexter Lawrence needed a sidekick. And if we were able to stop the run better last year, we wouldn't be in so many third and short situations. You know that the offense gets the ball more, but we didn't play complementary football anyway. So our offense just gave the ball right back to the other team's offense after 3 downs. We got to play complementary football. So our defense gets the offense the ball more. And I think that this offense, the way it is right now with Russell Wilson at quarterback, I think they can sustain drives and put points on the board. It's all about scoring touchdowns at the end of the day. And I think that Russell Wilson can do that, should be able to do that, at least better than what we've been doing. What was it? We had average 15 points last year. I think Russell Wilson's good for another 5. I think we average around 20, 21 points this year. And I think our defense can hold teams like 15 to 16 points. So when I'm doing that simple math, we should be winning more games than we lose. That's where I'm at. He said, what's your pro comp for Darius? Dalvin Tomlinson comes to mind. Dalvin Tomlinson was huge, right? When I think about Darius Alexander, I see more. I see more big cat, Leonard Williams. I see more of that type, but Leonard can also pass rush like crazy. But his body type is similar to Leonard Williams. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but that's what I think his playing style is: aggressive, good hands, quick feet like Leonard Williams. Gives you some run defense for sure, because Leonard Williams did have a lot of tackles for losses, and then his sacks picked up too. But yeah, if I compare him to a Giant or style of play, I'll say Darius Alexander is closer to like a Leonard Williams style. I'll say that. Dalvin Tomlinson was a free agent too for a while too. I would definitely kick the tires on Dalvin Tomlinson. 40 Luck, you're not alone. He says, I still feel like we need another wide receiver. Now, I'm in the minority with this. The way you feel, 40 Luck, is how a lot of people feel. They want Amari Cooper. They want Gabe Davis. They want Keenan Allen. Excuse me. For me, I want to cook with the wide receivers that we have right now first. I think Amari Cooper probably is going to sit on the market for a little bit until maybe there's an injury and then somebody might pick him up. Then I don't think there's a rush to get Amari Cooper. I could be wrong. Keenan Allen, I don't think there's a rush for Keenan Allen. And then who was the other name? Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis is a lot younger than those other guys, so maybe somebody grabs him a little bit quicker. Pause. But the one thing and I'll ask you this, 40 Luck, when you say you want to add another wide receiver, who are you thinking about first? And then who are you taking snaps away from in order to get this guy on the field? That's my question to you. Chris Canty is a great comp. Coach Ed coming through. That is a great comp there. I like that. Now Kante, I think, was like 6'6", 6'7". Arms was crazy long. But I like that. I like that a lot. JJ the King says we should have kept Tomlinson too. We got rid of him because what was that? That's because we had he played when he was here when Dex was still a rook. Hold on, I gotta think now. When we got Dex, we had BJ Hill. I think we still had Dalvin Tomlinson. Yes. So when we had that, wow, just think about these names, right? In 2019, we ended up getting Leonard Williams here, right? We had Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Dalvin Tomlinson, and BJ Hill, if I'm not mistaken. Just think about that. And then we traded BJ Hill for that bum center Billy Price. We ended up getting rid of Dalvin Tomlinson so we can re-sign Leonard Williams. And then it became the Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence show after that. That's crazy. And we was trash in 2019. With that kind of defensive front, that's crazy. I think he will be. Steven says hopefully Darius is another good DT pick because the Giants used to be a factor and we let him go. Just think about it. Was Linville was Jonathan Hankins, then Linville Joseph, then Dalvin Tomlinson. Like we keep letting good ones go, man. BJ Hill. Like, good Lord, man. I hope you're right. Hopefully we can keep the guys this time around, man. Okay, Jay, he answered. He said he's taking snaps away from Slayton. You just paid him though. You gave him a 3-year contract, $12 million a year. You gonna take snaps away from him? You know what's one thing I said too? And did you say who you would take? Which wide receiver? I'm trying to see if you. So you told me you're going to take snaps away from Slayton, but who's the wide receiver that you're picking up that you're targeting? Fred Robbins, Jay Alford. Yep, I see that too. Yeah, we got a good history of defensive linemen, man. We got to get back to that. Dexter Lawrence is bringing us back to that for sure. And the funny thing about Dexter Lawrence too, Dexter Lawrence was almost looking like he wasn't going to get his 5th-year option. Remember that? Because he was showing a little bit of flashes here and there, but he wasn't really Dexter Lawrence yet. And when the funny thing is when we got Joe Schoen, when they got here in 2022, obviously they didn't give Daniel Jones a 5th-year option, but they gave Dexter Lawrence a 5th-year option, but they brought in Wink Martindale, and then Wink Martindale, switched him to a nose tackle, and then it took off from there. But I remember when they picked up his 5th-year option, I was like, I kind of understand, but I didn't think he deserved that 5th-year option. And then 2022 season happened, and he went from a fringe guy that showed some flashes to Dexter Lawrence, damn all-pro. And that's why these guys get paid to evaluate talent. And that's why I'm sitting here as a fan talking to other New York Giants fans about, the decisions that other people made. Some people saw that. Shout out to Wink for seeing that. But I will say this, there's a tweet out there. I believe it was 2021 or 2022 that I said, man, we need to stop playing and put Dexter Lawrence at nose tackle. So I'll give myself a pat on the back for that one. I don't think it's a terrible contract. Now, I see what you're saying. When it comes to Darius Slayton, right? It's about the targets for me. I think if he got more targets or if he had more catches, he's easily 1,000-yard receiver. So if you got Malik Nabers as your wide receiver one, and I think Malik Neighbors should be averaging about 1,500 yards a season. That should be pretty much where he should be. In that 13, like his floor should be around 1,300 yards with good quarterback play. Let me throw that out there. 15 should be where he's at, and then he has the ability to go over that. That's how good Malik Neighbors is. Darius Slayton had 39 catches last year, and he had like 500 yards off of 30-something catches. Look at Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale Robinson had 90-something catches, and he didn't even crack 700 yards. You give Darius Slayton, and Wan'Dale Robinson had 140 targets. You give Darius Slayton maybe 110 targets, and he gets you about 85 catches out of that, because he was getting 700 yards with 50 catch seasons. You give Darius Slayton 75 catches, 80 catches, he's probably going to get you about 1,100 to 1,200 yards. And then that money looks like a great deal. That contract looks great if Darius Slayton is cracking 1,000 yards and maybe 8 touchdowns. Then that contract looks fantastic. But right now, I understand where you're coming from, Jay. To you, it feels like a terrible contract. For me, better quarterback play, better results, Papa John's. Papa John's at the end of the day. Better ingredients, better pizza. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Spags ain't doing that. He says, hey, Dash, let's get rid of Bowen and trade for Spags. Spags is comfortable right now. Him and Andy Reid going to go out together. That's what it looks like to me. Spags is 65? It's about 65 years old. Him and Andy Reid going to have that ship going for a while. As long as Patrick Mahomes is playing, they're going to be where they need to be. And Spags is doing a fantastic job. He's probably going to be the highest paid DC if he's not already. Does he still have aspirations to give it a go again as a head coach? He proved that he couldn't be a good head coach. I say that respectfully. But Spags had a chance. He's a defensive guy. He's not a head coach guy. So I think him and Andy Reid probably walk off together, possibly. He said Papa Russ. Papa Russ, not Papa John's. We'll see what happens. Better quarterback play, Papa John's. Yeah. Oh man, we at the 2-hour mark, man. I'm enjoying myself, man. I love hanging out with you guys, man. I love talking football, man. We go a little bit longer. Get to the rest of these comments. I think I might be caught up though. Let you guys enjoy the rest of your night, especially on the East Coast. It's 11. Y'all vibing though. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Thank you for the love and support, man. Still got 100 in here too, man. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, and I say this a lot, as a New York Giant fan, I recognize pretty much all the names, so I'm assuming everybody in here is already subscribed to the channel. But if you're a New York Giants fan and you're not subscribed to this channel, shame on you. Shame on you, but guess what? You can fix that by hitting that like and subscribe button right now. But again, I recognize most of the names that are in here right now, or the people that are participating in the chat, I should say. I know a lot of people are watching and not commenting. Go ahead and, join the conversation, man. Feel free to do that. There's no wrong opinions. You might get some debates. People won't make fun of you. You know what I mean? Let me hear some more of your opinions out there, because it's again, there's a lot of people that are watching right now, and probably half of you guys are commenting or being a part of the chat. And some people can, some people can't. But guess what, man? You're a Giants fan. I'm assuming for the most part, because I know there's fans of other teams that are in here too. But for the most part, we are all New York Giants fans. Our opinions matter. Don't be afraid to share those, especially on this platform, on my channel. Hopefully you guys feel comfortable enough to just talk, because that's what I like. That's what I like to do. I like to have conversations. I like to make sure that everybody's involved, especially when it comes to the chat, because again, I'm a fan just like you guys are fans, man. And I think we need each other to either, like therapy sessions, I would say, for the most part. It's like therapy. Do the good and the bad. Christopher Moody says, who gets the first touchdown of the season? I think Tyrone Tracy gets the first touchdown of the season. I think we get all the way down to the red zone and we push and we punch it in. Maybe Scatterbo gets it. Short yardage. Maybe that happens. I wanted to say Malik Neighbors right off the bat. I just want to say, Malik Neighbors. But yeah, I think the running back gets the first touchdown this year. Maybe it's a bootleg and Russ gets it. My man, Mr. President, says it's 4 a.m. in the UK. That's where you're at right now? In the UK? Salute to you, man. 4 a.m.? Good Lord. Salute to you. Thank you for tuning in at 4 in the morning. I appreciate that. More than you even know. Coach Ed says, hit the like button. It's free. And free is for me. It is free. It really is free. It takes two buttons to press. Get out of the chat, hit the like button, then get right back into the chat. That's it. Even easier if you're on your phone. I don't know how many people are watching on their TV or something like that, but my man Sci Guy says scat. Yeah, I see that. Christopher says, I got Theo low key. My big brother says, little bro, as I get older, I'll be trying to hang in there, fam. One love always. Go ahead, go to bed, big bro. Go to bed, big bro. Listen, I'm cheating because I'm on the way. I'm on Pacific Standard Time right now. Go to bed, big bro. I love you, man. That's my big brother for real. When I say that's my big bro, that's my real brother, right there. Love you, man. Good night. Tell the family I said hi. Kiss the kids for me. Kiss him, Mr. Stoof, for me. Tell everybody I said what's going on. Luann says, I came across this channel and I clicked on it. What I like about you is that you acknowledge the subscribers, the comments. Most that I subscribe to don't do that. I do understand that, and I make sure that's the point. Because before I even started my channel, I used to be in the comment section watching a lot of people's a lot of other content creators channels, and I will put comments in there, and a lot of times it didn't get read. And you don't feel like you're a part of the conversation. Like I said, you're watching the conversation, but you don't feel a part of the conversation. So you saying that, I do appreciate that too. And again, you don't have to hit me with the super chats or the super stickers. If I like your comment, I'm going to talk about it. If it goes along with the conversation, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to highlight you, and I appreciate, you saying that, because that's how I want everybody to feel. That's how I want everybody to feel when they tuned in, because we are all like, and I say that, and I mean it seriously. I'm a New York Giants fan. I don't work for the Giants. I didn't play for the Giants. I'm just a diehard New York Giants fan for years. Grew up in it. And I think that everybody, like literally, I think that everybody that's in here doing what they doing, supporting, commenting, hitting the like button, everybody is a part of the New York Giants. And hopefully you guys feel that way. I appreciate that, Dark Friend. He says #1 Giants channel for me. I appreciate that more than you know. And I really do mean that. Sean Jackson says, besides our current Giants quarterback room, the other quarterbacks I'll follow closely are Shedeur and Daniel Jones. I want to see just how much DJ held our offense back. Okay. I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm curious. I'm curious to see what, like, I don't care. Like, I really don't care, but I'm curious. I'm curious to see what Daniel Jones does. I'm curious to see if he beats out Anthony Richardson. I'm curious to see if that happens. Because you know what? I kind of think it might be possible. Anthony Richardson is not good, in my opinion. He's not good. Shedeur Sanders, you guys already know I was a big fan of Shedeur Sanders. I still am a fan of Shedeur Sanders. I will support Shedeur Sanders in every game that he plays outside of playing the Giants. When he plays the New York Giants, I hope he doesn't even know how to throw a ball. But I will be watching Shedeur Sanders as well. There's another quarterback that I will be watching as well, and that's Michael Penix in Atlanta, because I was a big fan of Michael Penix last year. I wanted to draft Michael Penix last year, and a lot of people gave me a lot of stuff about it. And I think he's going to be a good quarterback for Atlanta Falcons. So, I mean, I just watch football all together. But those are the guys that I'll be watching as well, besides what we're going to be doing with the New York Giants, for sure. Mellow Trades, what's going on, Mellow? He says, Big Dash was good, fam. How you feeling about Dart? I think we got one. Abdul Carter looking ready. You must have just got here, Mellow. Did you just get here? because we about to tune out too. How do I feel about Jackson Dart? I like what I'm seeing. I like how he handles himself as a person. I liked him behind the podium when in our introductory meeting of him. I will say this though, in order for us to get the best version of Jackson Dart, do not rush it. Because I'm already seeing people and beat writers say this too. Beat writers talking about Jackson Dart. He's not the type of guy that's just going to lay down and accept the backup role. And what I say to that is this: if you really want the best for Jackson Dart, if you really want the best for the New York Giants, let him develop. Take the time and let him develop. There's no reason to rush this kid on the field. That's how I feel about Jackson Dart, and I say that because I believe the skill set that he has, that with the right tutelage and the right development, he could be, the next franchise quarterback for the New York Giants. It's up to Dable, it's up to Kafka, it's up to Shea Tierney in order to make that happen. And it's up to Russell Wilson to play good enough to allow Jackson Dart to sit. Because if Russell Wilson looks bad, I know this fan base, they're going to be wanting Jackson Dart on the field, and I don't think that's good for him. Now, when it comes to Abdul Carter, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie Defensive Player of the Year, that's all I got to say about him. That's all I got to say about Abdul Carter. Defensive player, Rookie Defensive Player of the Year. That's where I'm at with him. My man Andre Powell says, I'm a subscriber, but don't comment and enjoy your content. Keep rolling, Big Dad. Listen, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, just coming down to say that. That's what's up, man. Mellow Trace, I just got here. Bro, yeah, I could tell. I could tell by the question that you asked, man. Oh, man. Listen, I'm going to answer your questions, and I got to get out of here, man. He said, what do you think about the possibility of signing Gabe Davis? I'm not for it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. I like this wide receiver room. I think we should give the guys in the room the opportunity to play. When I think about Gabe Davis and his skill set, we just signed Darius Slayton. Why would we go get Gabe Davis to be Darius Slayton? That's how I would sum it up. But I wouldn't be surprised if we got Gabe Davis just because he played for the Bills. He's familiar with the system. Joe Shane is a fan of him, clearly because the way he spoke about him. Brian Dable is a fan of him. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got him. But I'm just thinking about, okay, once you bring him in, somebody gets placed on the back burner, and I'm getting tired of us putting our own players on the back burner. We're not allowing guys to develop. So that's my deal with Gabe Davis. Notorious HAN says, I saw some Dart highlights from minicamp with no pads or defenders. And I'm already convincing myself he might be the one. A lot of people are feeling that same way. Again, he got the beat writers in the palm of his hand right now. For real. That Dark Friend says, Giant fans need to keep Dart in our peripherals, ignore him for 2025, and let the kid learn. He got to cook, man. He got to simmer a little bit longer. You can't rush it. I don't know how many people out there eat oxtails or pot roast and stuff like that. Sometimes things take a little while to cook just to be right. That boy needs some seasoning. Actually, he does have a lot of seasoning because he got some swag to him. Without a doubt. He got the tools too, without a doubt. It's just some developing, so some cooking. It's not grilling. We talking about smoking right now. We not making chicken. We smoking brisket. That's what we doing. So let that boy smoke a little bit. Let him get good and ready. Cybright gave me the update. Timberwolves up 4. Golden State was 1. Oh boy, I'm surprised I didn't hit. I know my son is a Golden State fan. He spent most of his years growing up in California in the Bay Area, so he ended up being a Golden State fan. So I know he said he was watching the game, but I haven't heard him yell at all. So I figured the game either was a blowout and he decided to turn it off. I didn't know it was only a 4-point game, so I'll probably catch that last couple of minutes of that game. But I think I'm all caught up. So we're gonna wrap this thing up, everybody. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this thing up. So I will say this again: make sure you guys hit that like button. Let the algorithm know that we in the building. If you feel like doing it, share. And then if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We will be back. I'm doing a show I'm doing a show for the schedule release. So the schedule release is on Wednesday. I will be doing a show 9 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday. So if you guys want to tune in for that, I will be, doing a mini prediction, going over the schedule, either crying or laughing about the schedule, whatever. However we're gonna, however I do about it, however I feel about the schedule. We'll see what happens. I think we will open up with Dallas week 1. I'm thinking it's gonna be Monday Night Football. I want that actually. I need my get back against the Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, so I'm gonna do a Wednesday show coming up this week, and then the normal Saturday show. Depending on if nothing happens, the regular schedule programming. Last week, I was celebrating my son's birthday. So I didn't do the show last week. Played a little Top Golf. He enjoyed himself with that. That was my youngest. So I didn't do the show last week. But again, we back at it. Regularly scheduled programming. Wednesday night show. Make sure y'all tune in for that. And then the Saturday regular show next week. You guys tune in for that too. And yeah, that's going to be it. But I'm going to shut this thing down. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation.